Hey everyone, welcome back to the Paste Studios. We're live now with Trapper Schoepp. Man, it's good to see you again.
What's up?
Yeah, man, it's nice to host you in this red room here in the middle of Manhattan, as opposed to the middle of Milwaukee where we met you first, which was totally appropriate, being a Milwaukee fella.
That happened.
Yeah, it's nice to have you in our backyard as opposed to you hosting us in your backyard.
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah, so Primetime Illusion is the current album, and you're going to do 2 songs off of it. You're going to do a cover. That cover will remain nameless. I don't want to blow the surprise too early.
Don't blow it, man.
And
Seriously.
yeah, I mean, I might blow it, but that's just not specifically that way.
Otherwise.
So can you tell us a little bit about what you're going to do first?
We're going to do What You Do to Her. What you do to her, we all see. What you do to her, you should never be free. You said she had it coming, had that look in her eye. And by the way she dressed, you could put your hand up her thigh. You did it once, twice, and 3. When you do it to her, you do it to everybody. What you do to her, we all see. What you do to her, you should never be free. You said she was asking for it, gave you the go-ahead. It's your word against hers, but we've heard what you've said. You said it once, twice, and 3. You tell it to her and everybody. What you do to her, we all see. What you do to her, you should never be free. Never! I see you in the paper, I see you in the street. I wish you nothing but a terrible defeat. But the jury has spoken, and they believed your lie. You're just an innocent man in a drunken disguise. What you do to her, we all see. What you do to her, you should never be free. What you do to her, we all see. What you do to her, you should never be free. Never! Do-do-do, 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 do-do-do.
All right, that sounds great, man.
Thank you.
And there are words to be said about that song. There is a story behind it, which we would love to hear a little bit about.
Yeah, so the story is about someone who gets away with it, and we're very familiar with that story in America right now. We have a sexual assault epidemic, and men have stood on the sidelines of that epidemic, and I'm pretty tired of standing on the sidelines. I want to get right into it, and this song is that. I just really feel that I have a moral obligation. I think any decent person has a moral obligation to call out this sort of terrible behavior. So we put this song together, and we're really grateful to have Nicole Atkins sing on the song on the record.
She's a favorite of ours, man. She stops by here now and again. I see her at Newport. We see her here at the studio. She's definitely a fixture here and a great person.
She should be a household name. Yeah. But we're really fortunate to have her on the track. And yeah, it's just a song I want to put out there. And we need to amplify our voices.
Police
I
the
think.
predators.
Exactly. So yeah.
I've got a story which is kind of neither here nor there, but maybe a little bit relevant. Over Thanksgiving dinner, a friend of mine's very, very old relative, she was, I don't know, high 80s. She asked the question in front of the entire table, what is the Pound Me Too? Story all about what is Pound Me Too? And I could not stop laughing. Not to make light of hashtag Me Too, which is a very important movement, but when you phrase it just a little bit differently, it sounds fucking
It illustrates
hilarious.
the age gap.
Yeah, the age
I
gap.
don't think grandma's on Twitter using hashtags.
Yeah.
Well, of course, I believe part of the problem is that we don't like talking about the problem, and especially typically older people, but people my age. A lot of my friends who have experienced these things firsthand, people in my own community who have went through these things, I'm trying to tell their story because it's very important. Like I said, that these voices and these incidents are out there, or else if there's no sort of if there's no stories being told. We aren't going to move forward as a society. So that's my feeling on that. So.
Yeah, well, I see signs of encouragement. Maybe it's just anecdotal because I live in New York City and then I spend my time in California and in Lake Tahoe. And so maybe these are little bubbles that seem like they're progressing, but it does seem like people are taking that conversation seriously and referring to women and respect and addressing this entire thing the right way, which doesn't necessarily indicate an overall wave of success to the movement, but it certainly does indicate progress.
Of course. And yeah, I would just add that any decent person should be, affected by this. It doesn't need to be a politicized issue either. It's one of the issues of our time. So again, this song is just I'm using my very, very small voice to try to get involved in some way.
Well, thank you for doing it, and we're happy to use this platform to amplify that voice in whatever way we can. So the second song coming up, there's another wonderful story behind what happened here. The song is on Wisconsin. Can you tell us about how this came to be? And
yeah, of course. When Bob Dylan was 20 years old, he wrote a song about Wisconsin, and the lyrics sat in a drawer for over 50 years. And last year, I was just surfing the web, and I saw a story, and it said, "Lost lyrics about Wisconsin by Bob Dylan found." And I thought, whoa, someone's got to finish this song. So I sat down at my 100-year-old piano that I had recently been gifted by a complete stranger, and which is a whole nother story. And I sat down and I wrote this sort of this waltz to the lyrics that I saw that Dylan had wrote when he was 20. And I was imagining this sort of drifter making his way across the country. And so I wrote this waltz thinking about this sort of a hobo in a train car, right? This this sort of a waltz feel. And I just imagined a young Dylan or anyone making a big life transition. And it wasn't until later that I found out that Dylan had wrote this song on 11/20/61. That's the little date haphazardly written at the very top of the lyric sheet. And that is the same date that he stepped into Columbia Recording Studio to start work on his debut album. So I'd like to think that morning he woke up, had a cup of coffee, and maybe had a thought to write out a little travel log of the way he got out to New York City hitchhiking. So anyway, we recorded the song, we put it out there on the internet, and through a series of Hail Mary passes, as I best describe it, it got to Dylan, and we got a signed contract back saying, this is a songwriting agreement between you and the B.O.B. And, I'll never forget it. I was in the grocery store and I just sort of ran around in circles, grabbing everything off the shelves that I'd ever wanted, throwing them in the basket, and going on my way. But
that's more than a once in a lifetime thing, and that's a 1 in a 50 lifetime.
Yeah,
thing.
Imagine telling the 14-year-old boy standing in a field in Madison, Wisconsin, seeing Bob Dylan for the very first time, that one day he's going to have a co-write with the man on stage about your home state of Wisconsin. It's a trip, to say the least.
Also getting to go home for Thanksgiving and telling your older relatives who may not have any idea what in the world you do for a living and say, this is happening now. Me and Bob wrote a song together.
And then, of course, they say, oh, did you have some of his whiskey with him when he was... But yeah, it's what's, the other trip, of course, is that it's over, 50 years in the making. So it speaks to the folk process and the generational aspect of music and how things are sort of course, regional, but also passed down from one generation to the other. And that's something that's very important to me and something that I hold dear and take seriously.
Well,
So
congratulations. I'm stoked it happened to
Thank you.
and we'd love to hear it.
Awesome. Here it is. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. Yeah, Wisconsin is a dairy state. Guess you all know it well. I was in Wauwatosa. The truth I will tell. It's a milk and cheese and cream. Yes, I've known it all my days. And I'm going to my hometown. I'm leaving right away. I'm headed to Wisconsin, 2,000 miles to go. Madison, Milwaukee, sets my heart aglow. I'm headed to that state and my heart's beating fast. And I'll jerk my banjo gently and twiddle my mustache on Wisconsin. On Wisconsin, it's calling me that way. On Wisconsin, on Wisconsin, I think I'm going to stay. Yes, there's thoughts I left there long ago. Ones are coming now, it seems. I'll tune my banjo in the hills and feast on milk and cream. And I'll stamp my foot through the grass, and I'll never know a care. Yes, my home's in Wisconsin, and I'm going there on Wisconsin. On Wisconsin, it's calling me that way. On Wisconsin, on Wisconsin, I think I'm going to stay. Yes, you people with your city ways are driving me insane to drink. Yes, my home's in Wisconsin. It's a better place, I think. I have been to California and I've been all around, but my home's in Milwaukee, and I'm gonna own this town. On Wisconsin, on Wisconsin, it's calling me away on Wisconsin, on Wisconsin. I think I'm going to stay. Yes, I might as well stay. Yeah.
Thank you, friends.
Thank you, man. That was great. So have a great show tomorrow night. You're at the Highline Ballroom tomorrow, and then there's a bunch of Midwest dates through February. You're playing the Raccoon Motel out in Davenport, and when that wraps up, you guys are headed over to Western Europe, March through April 11th. And a lot of those UK dates are with Skinny Lister. It's another band that came in here and
of course
played some accordion and tap dancing music, and it was great.
That is an experience, Skinny Lister. Shout out to them. Go see them live. Get up close and personal with them.
At the Trapper Shep show.
There we go.
Trapper Shep Skinny Lister show all across Western Europe. And
yes.
All the dates are up at trappershep.com. Your Facebook, I'm sure. So please, everybody watching, check it out and see if he's coming through your town. And man, travel safely. And thanks so much for sharing these 3 songs. And enjoy the rest of your day in New York.
Thank you so much.
All
really
right.
appreciate it. A shout out to my new
And we're back. Psych. We've got a bonus third track. It's not really a bonus third track. It's just the third track. And thank you so much for still being here and bearing with that bit of technical difficulties.
Yeah, of course.
And looks like we didn't even lose any audience. People were still here.
Yeah, and we're gonna send this one out to my new nephew, Hugo Shep Wong. We're fresh uncles. So this is a Tom Petty song called Walls. It's about the duality of life, the ups, the downs, and how we try to manage all those things. So here we go. Some days are diamonds, some days are rocks, some doors are open, some roads are blocked, sundowns are golden, then fade away. And if I never do nothing, I'll get you back someday, 'cause you've got a heart so big that it could crush this town. And I can't hold out forever, even walls fall down. All around your island, there's a barricade, keeps out the danger, holds in the pain. Sometimes you're happy, sometimes you cry. Half of me is ocean, and half of me is sky, 'cause you've got a heart so big that it could crush this town. And I can't hold out forever, even walls fall down. Some things are over, some things go on. Part of me you carry, and part of me is gone. 'Cause you've got a heart so big that it could crush this town. And I can't hold out forever, even walls fall down.
Thank you, man. So what was it about that one? I mean, just a legendary canon of songs that really made Walls speak to you for right now.
Yeah, I think a very specific memory I have is the day after he left, the world that we see. I was a bit hungover from the little bit of a get together I had the night before, and I walked down to Lake Michigan, and I just sat there on a log alone on the beach, and I just listened to that song over and over, and just watch the waves come and go, and just again sort of considered the duality of it all, as I like to think. You know, learning to fly, but coming down, it's the hardest thing. You know, he was so great at, you know, the highs, the lows, and managing those things emotionally and through his words and his music. So he was a master of that, and I thank him and his continued spirit with us. So long live Tom Petty.
Not to mention his cameo in Waterworld, which was just outstanding.
Of course, yes.
And King of the Hill, a feature role as Lucky.
Dude, I listened to Bulls on Parade the entire time from Lake Tahoe, California to Reno, Nevada, full volume. The speakers didn't like it, but I heard it, and I didn't really take anything away. I didn't write a song about it, but I enjoyed the hell out of it, and it really hit me right in the right spot.
Of course.
It's nice. I mean, it's not always that songs just hit the right way, and good for you for turning that into a beautiful interpretation of that song.
Yeah, thank you.
So thank you guys again for coming through. Best of luck on Primetime Illusion, and great show at Highline tomorrow. Great show.
Thank you.
All the rest of them, Raccoon Motel in Davenport. It's going to be fun. And guys, thanks a lot for coming through.
Yeah, cheers.